Fallout. It's a game we all know and love. If you want to bring it into the modern era, you can install a few mods and get a few tweaks going to suit your needs. You will, however, need Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. You can install it through Steam or other platforms that I don't really bother with, but I just use Steam. You can go and set your Steam library location to something other than the C drive, because Windows has extra protections on that for annoying Microsoft reasons. This varies depending on your system, I guess, but I have it installed in my games drive. Let's see. How do you actually switch the thing? Yeah, whatever. You can figure out how to do that on your own. It doesn't matter that much, I don't think. But you might get like error messages with installing some mods and all that. Windows detected a bad guy on your computer. But yeah, we'll need both games, because yeah, what I'm using is Fallout 1 and 2, which is a mod that replicates or recreates Fallout 1 inside Fallout 2. This is going to be kind of a haphazard video of me going through the modding process. So yeah, a lot of the Fallout 1 and 2 mods that I have work with Fallout 2 and were found on the Fallout 2 Nexus. Thank you, Steam. We're going to go ahead. Now, I should say, you can just plug and play Fallout on Steam, because it comes with the high-res patch. This might be loud. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I switched it around. Let's go into Fallout. You can just straight up plug and play it. But if you want, like I said, if you want to add some things and make it a bit more fun, you will need some mods, I think. So maybe for your first playthrough, just play the regular one. Which one is it? Is it HR? Probably. Thank you. Thank you, Interplay. Do I have any saves? Hey, I do. Cool. Alright. That was so loud. Okay. You can just plug and play, and it plays surprisingly well. But I like having mods. I like customizing my experience, you know? However, yeah, do keep in mind that with some mods, your mileage may vary, and your game might be different than people's on the internet, so it might play out differently and not work exactly as it does to other people. It's always an issue with mods, really. So yeah, let's go into our Fallout 2 folder here. Well, I'm going to grab Fallout 1 and 2, which you can grab off of GitHub. Just grab the latest installation. I should have the links in the description, but you can't just look them up on Google if you want. There's the Fallout 1 and 2 folder. And put it in the Fallout 2 game files, which you can find by going to Steam, Manage, Browse Local Files. That will show the game's data files. And then we drag and drop or copy paste Fallout 1 and 2 folder to this. Now, a lot of this is probably going to be me scrolling through INI files or configuration files and switching out options just to kind of show off the ones that I have. I could maybe copy paste my settings somewhere just so people can copy them. I wouldn't exactly know how to do that besides just putting them in like a Google Doc somewhere. Yeah, there is Fallout 1 and 2, and this is the folder that you'll use for booting up the game. But I think you need to run this, your undat. Yeah, Windows protected me. Thanks, Windows. And then this goes into the Fallout 1 folder. You select the master.dat, and again, that goes from your Steam, if you want. And then you extract, and this is what actually creates Fallout 1 and 2. Otherwise, it won't work. So it works kind of similar to the other Fallout 2 conversion mods like Sonora. I think there's a couple other ones, but that's kind of a famous one. Done. All files were extracted, so now that should just work and you should just be able to boot it up. But to set it up with Steam, which is kind of an optional thing if you want to do, you can use the Steam Detour, which I believe what all that does is it like sets up an executable. README. We doing always, sure. Steam game properties launch options. And then, yeah, so you put in, you get the full path to whatever. So you copy this, or copy as path, wherever that is. There we go, copy as path. Go to your Fallout Steam thingy. Properties, launch options. Copy paste that path there, and then space, and then the path to your Fallout 2 exe, which is what you use to run the Fallout 1 and 2, and then %command %. I've used this for a lot of games where I mod things to be able to launch things through Steam, which is how I play games. Because I'm an epic gamer, I'm an epic PC gamer, so I use Steam. And that's all there is to that, really. You only need to do that if you want to actually log Fallout into Steam. So. Or Fallout 1 and 2 into Steam. Otherwise, you'd be, I guess, playing... No, you wouldn't be playing either, because this is its own thing inside the Fallout 2 folder. Anyways, we're going to go into this folder. And there are... That's pretty much it as far as installation goes. Let's go ahead and put the mods in now. I'm going to lower the volume on this one. Fallout 1 and 2 mods. So, we got a few of them here. And there are a few that come with Fallout 1 and 2. You can look the GitHub page for instructions and extra information. But here is, we'll grab Fallout 2 Explorer, Fallout 2 Mechanics. I think we can just go ahead and copy these and put them in the data folder here. Extracto. Extract here. Appearance, yes. Yes. Then we can probably just delete. That way they're all set up there, but we need to go into the mods. And the mods order, this is a little annoying, but we gotta actually add the mods, the mod titles that we want in the game here. I don't need interface upscaled, because I kind of like playing on low resolution, because I'm a little boy. Barter formula, I'm not sure what this does, so we're gonna look. Yes, I do want that. We don't need a game in French or German because we're not Euro. We're not. Anyway, let's see. Robo dog. We don't need that. That turns dog made into a robot dog. Show loot weight. Yes, that's good. Alternative force fields. Don't need that. New pre-mades. What is this? Read me. Oh, okay. Nope, we don't need that. V15 rework. What do we have here? Changes Vault 15 entrance maps to be more in line with the Vault 15 design. Interesting. I kind of like that, actually. I don't mind that. That's kind of cool. However, if you want things to be close to what Fallout 1 was like, there's already going to be changes and additions from Fallout 2 in this version, so I would probably add that, actually. Footprints, that's pretty cool. Alternative Junktown, what does that do? I think, yeah, it just adds in those endings, right? Yes. Or generated? Okay, yeah, we're not using that. Lame. Lame! Okay. Now we'll add in the extra cool shit here. We just added. S-Fall mods. So let's see what we actually have to do. So for those, you have to add the title, which I think is .dat, right? Or whatever. 1, 2 mods. Let me go on to the Nexus here, just because I think I screwed it up because I deleted the readme. Installation. Come on, baby. Download, yada yada, unpack. S-Fall. So, oh, hey. This is kind of cool. Yeah, but it's not available, unfortunately. So this is a really great mod. Adds a ton of features, but I think that this is from like a weird Russian website that's offline. So, you know you're about to get a good mod when it's from a Russian website. But, yeah, unfortunately, some of the cool features of this, because what this does, apparently there is an auto move to attack feature in that, which is incredible. So, like, you know how in Baldur's Gate 3 or in a lot of other turn-based RPGs, you can click on an enemy with a melee weapon and your character will run to them. That is not a thing in Fallout. You have to use a separate action movement to actually move up to them first and then attack, which is a little annoying, you know, but it's not like it's a complete deal breaker and the game's unplayable, but it's just like a nice kind of quality of life feature that's part of future games, you know. But I wish that was a thing. But yeah, it looks like this isn't really available right now, unfortunately. But then yeah, in mods order, you add Mechanics rework.dat. We need this enabled as well. Mechanics MiniRework, and then the other one I have is Fallout 2 tweaks. What? It's not available? Hold on, what? You saying this isn't available on the Nexus? Let me see, Fallout, maybe that, yeah, it was available on GitHub. 2 tweaks. Ba-ba-beep-ba. Yes. So yeah, a couple of these are on GitHub, which is a little uncomfortable, I might say. I might say this. Maybe I could just put all of them in the description, although I don't really like spamming links in the description. I kind of like having like, oh, here's a link to a spreadsheet that has them, you know? Then it's like, that's a little annoying. So I think I'll just put all the links in the description because there's only like 5. So yeah, I have Fallout 2 Explorer. This is on the Nexus. Wait a minute. I just wanted to look at the installation page. And you need to put fo2tweaks.dat in the mods order. Beautiful. Fallout 2 tweaks.dat. So we'll put the mechanics Fallout 2 tweaks.dat. We're gonna just copy paste that name because it's too dang long. Because we're lazy. Save as. Oh, whoops. Save. Is that all we need? Probably. You can put more if you want, but honestly, I looked at the Nexus and I pretty much got what I wanted. Because, yeah, these mods, ooh, they're good. But they do have a lot of configuration options that we're going to have to scroll through. In fact, we might as well just do that right now. Let's scroll through MiniRework. Oh, God, this is a little hard to read on dark mode, I'm not going to lie. View. I switched everything to dark mode because I'm spurgy, you know. And it's like, geez, this is kind of annoying to read on dark mode, but we'll power through it. So yeah, this is honestly the coolest feature of this. Most of this is kind of for Fallout 2, to be honest, but Traits Plus is probably my favorite thing that I've found for classic Fallout. and it really revamps the traits and makes them really cool. Especially the kamikaze trait, which was normally a pretty useless, crappy trait, but this one makes it really cool. Essentially, for every 2 tiles of movement, your next attack is reduced by 1 action point cost. So it's just really fun. It allows for like a run and gun kind of play style. And yeah, a lot of the traits are changed. You can check that out. We're definitely enabling that. Secondary attack, sure. New skill book mechanics, maybe. Doc, okay, so this is, yes. Yes, definitely get that. Retroactive calculation, yes. Poison mod, ooh, that's kind of good actually, because like it's a little bit overpowered when you can just go into the rad scorpion cave with Ian, and he can get hit like 50 times by the rad scorpions and be totally fine. I'll have to look at that because that does kind of seem annoying. This one is a little iffy. New stim pack healing mechanics. I do kind of like that stim packs are a little OP. You can just activate your inventory and instantly heal your whole health, you know? But I could look into it. Show. Yep. Above the head. I do kind of like that, yeah. New miss mechanics. I do like that. Crippling explosions, reworked, yep. Anti-crit, sure. Sneak detection, yes. Yes. Steal mechanics, yep. Face-to-face dialogue, I like. So you can enable or disable them at your leisure, you know? I might disable the Bloody Mess one because it essentially adds another layer of Jinxed, which is very powerful and interesting, but I kind of want to just select Bloody Mess on my character without the Jinxed. Because yeah, Jinxed is kind of annoying if you're not doing a melee build. So I might turn off Bloody Mess. But it does add a really interesting effect. I think I might just run this mod with the default settings, though. Where are we going? I don't exactly know how the skill books thing works. Alright, yeah, this guy really put a lot of shit in the INI file. Okay. Poison. I think the only enemies that poison you are the rad scorpions, right? I'm pretty sure. Unless there's like those enemies like near the glow. I don't know. Maybe we can turn that off. It's a little complicated. It's kind of cool though, but you do have, there is one NPC that did get poisoned and you can use the antidote on them, and that beats a quest. So it would be kind of cool if it added stakes to those rad scorpion fights with Ian. You know? But I think, yeah, I might disable that because it's a little too complicated. I don't know. we can disable that. Regen, let's check that module out. Poison. Regeneration. I don't know how this works. And I don't know if you can change these settings during your game. Heal. Yes. Critter. Per tick, so is that like per round? This does kind of change the combat a little bit too much. Maybe we could try that out for Fallout 2. But this, I think we could leave this one off. I don't know. That looks kind of iffy to me. So we can turn this off too. The rest we can probably leave on. Sneakadoo. Steel. Minimum steel required. And complicating theft from merchants. Steal a weapon from a target's hands. We'll go 100. Yeah. Or this would be really cool if this was doable in combat. But in order to steal a weapon, you can't steal during combat, unfortunately. Like, it would be really cool to play like a monk type character that had steal and it was like their grapple or disarm ability. That'd be so freaking cool if you could steal in combat, but that's not really a thing, unfortunately. I feel like 100's pretty fair. Yeah. Sneak. We're good. Skill books. We should read that as well. It's kind of long though. Works with original. Fixed skill book bonus. The skill is tagged. Comprehension. Yes. I don't know how NPC skills work, but this allows you to read the book is given to the player and companions, which the skill book was applied. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Bonus from reading books. Yep. Maximum skill. Sure. Fine. On to the next one. Unless specified. World map key. Okay. Molotov. Sure, bottomless trunk, even though we're not playing Fallout 2, so that's irrelevant, I suppose. Yes. Good. Virtually unlimited carry weight. You can turn that off. Unless you don't want to use the save editor for that. But I don't mind that. That's kind of neat, you know? Alternative healing. Okay. You can disable that. Damage mod. Nah. We don't need that. Highlighting. Nope. I think the D-draw handles that. I like that auto reload. Don't check. Unlimited party? That is handled by SFall, which is the extended Fallout 2 mechanics mod. Let's just see. That comes with Fallout 1 and 2. You find some areas too dark? No. Speed up. Okay. Run speed. I like that. No drop items on death. Allowing to loot the remains normally, yes. Auto cursor, yes, this is the reason to get this mod. Makes playing a lot smoother. Basically, if you mouse over an enemy, it'll switch to the attack instead of having to right-click each time. Awesome. AP rollover, that's a little overpowered, so we're not going to have that. Replaces AC bonus. Oh, okay. It's pretty cool, I guess. Damage mod, unlimited party, blah, blah, blah. Alright, there's are the mod settings. Well, here's SFAL mods. Highlighting. We'll go with the shift key. It's a bit more natural. Set to 1 to highlight containers. Yep. Corpses. Yep. We want to highlight everything. Check line of sight. Outline. Color for containers. We'll go with bright yellow. Corpses will go dark yellow. 32. Combat control. Let you use the command cursor. I kind of like this one. Control all party members. I haven't actually tried that. But I think that would be pretty fun to be able to completely control the party. I don't know if it'll get old or what, but it'd be kind of neat. So we haven't actually booted anything up yet, but that's the mod config. Here's the save editor. What the hell's this? Go to Explorer. Uh-oh. It's not good. Do I have the executable here? That is not good. I don't think I installed that properly. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reinstall that. I think I deleted the executable on accident. Oops. Whoopsie. Oopsie poopsie. This is the save editor, useful for editing your character and your inventory and testing things out, or cheating if you're having trouble. We can go ahead and replace that there. Installation. Well, where's the executable? Oh, well, I'm stupid. Let's see. Fallout 1 and 2 data. Is there not a executable here? Fallout 2 x.exe. What? Okay. Whatever. We'll check that out later. There's the mod config, and then I guess we can check out Fallout 1 settings first, because this unique settings for Fallout at 2, which is the other old name for Fallout 1 and 2. Default values. Okay. Enable expanded endings. Yes. Enable the motorcycle. Yep. Party limit. Yes. I like this setting. It adds a bit more weight to the charisma stat, because charisma is infamously useless in Fallout 1. This is not for everybody, I guess. if you want to play more accurate to Fallout 1, you can turn this off, but I like it. It makes builds a bit more interesting because you actually have to invest points into charisma if you want to get mileage out of companions. And it makes it closer to Fallout 2. Yep, level up over time. Enable Fallout 2 critters. This, I don't know how I feel about that necessarily. I don't know which ones it adds. I think we can turn it off. Enable cavern maps. I really like this. I like the cavern encounters, so we're gonna enable them. iBot hireling. Yep, we're gonna do that. Auto doors, very useful. Armor destroy. No, we're gonna turn that off. We like looting armor. Yep, we're gonna get that. Alternative disguise. Sure. Enable vault suit item. Sure. Enable weapon upgrades. I don't know exactly how that works, but yeah. I do like having the red dog meat because it makes dog meat look more unique. Instead of just like a generic dog. Yes. Yes, yes. Shady Sands Merchant. Yep, you can have that. Cut characters. Sure. Seasonal lighting. Why not? If you want, yeah, if you want to like have the raw Fallout 1 experience, you can probably turn the cut characters off. But it kind of just adds more to do, which is cool. You can enable that. Resting. Nerfed hit chance. I don't know what this means, so we're just gonna turn it off. Enable tough mutants and humans. This is a little bit of a tough decision for me because I do like harder combat, but I basically couldn't fight the Gons with this enabled. So, and like they were already super strong. So I would say, yeah, if you want the game to be as hard as possible, you can increase this. But I think I'm going to leave the game at default, actually. So I think things are pretty decently difficult in Fallout 1. Especially at higher difficulties. Radiation effects in the zones around the glow. We're actually going to say no to that one. Enable more car wreck variations. Sure. Enable Fallout 2 styled world map. No. Water timer. That's good. We're going to turn the invasions off just to be able to get the best ending. Although I think in canon, Necropolis actually was invaded. Yeah, we'll turn that off. Because, yeah, normally after 110 days, Necropolis will get invaded by the mutants. I think I can look this up. Fallout 1 Necropolis endings. Ba-da-da. Continue. So in order to get the good ending with Necropolis, you have to beat the game in less than 110 days, which is pretty wild. Or enter it. Okay. So you can just technically leave, I suppose. Or kill all the super mutants at the watershed and enter. Okay. The mutant attack on Necropolis spares none of the ghoulish inhabitants. It's... Okay. Yeah, so we'll turn the Necropolis invasion off. Just so I can get the good ending. But I've never actually played this. In Fallout 1, all invasions except Vault 13 and Necropolis are disabled. Initially, they had planned to make it so that mutants would gradually invade the various towns in the game. And that is a really cool feature in concept, but as a game, it kind of makes it, like, annoyingly hard and a little bit punishing for players who are just trying to run around. Although, yeah, the time limits are an infamous aspect of Fallout 1, and I actually really like the water time limit in Fallout 1. A lot of people hate time limits in games. And to me, it's like, it's kind of a committal thing. You know, I like time limits in Daggerfall. Like, oh, you have to beat this quest within 30 days or it fails, you know. I do kind of like time limits. You have to do it, you know, well, I guess. Sometimes it can be kind of pointless, but there does need to be a little bit of stakes in the story, you know, and a reason to go there. Because, like, it is a little stupid in Oblivion how you're like, the Emperor's like, the world's literally gonna end, bro. Get this amulet to Joffrey and find my son or else we're all gonna die. And then you can just fuck off and go to Shivering Isles and dick around, you know? But, you know, that is fun that you can do that, so it's kind of like, how much do you want to screw the player over for doing what they want to do, you know? And I think this is a little bit too much. It's really cool, like, if you actually saw that, but yeah, I don't know. We'll leave it at 0. We're going to enable the fixed changes. Fallout Fixed is another cool mod that is kind of outdated at this point, but I've used it. We're going to enable hookers, because hell yeah. I might actually add more operations to Lori, just as a bit of a cheese. Just so you can max out your specials, potentially. But yeah, it is, again, a little bit of a cheese. Is Chris the Bounty Hunter respawn? That's not a thing. Enable chess? Yes. Cool. That's Fallout 1 settings. There is Fallout 2.cfg. This, I think, is the settings. Cool. Now we're going to customize the Fallout 1 res.ini. First, we can go in this res config. This is actually the high res patch that comes with the game now on Steam. So what I like to do is go to 640 by 480 and then put the scaling times 2 on. 640 by 480 is the original resolution. You can choose whatever resolution you want, but I like playing on that resolution, and you kind of have to play on scaling times 2 if you want to be able to play the game on a modern PC monitor. And then, yeah, that's the settings for the config, but we're going to go in the res thing here. Graphics mode 2. We're going to put the screen width and height here. We don't... we can just put 480. 640. And I think this is like the best balance. I think it just looks the best at this resolution. That's just a preference of mine, but if you want, you can set it to your monitor resolution, which would probably be the best. I don't know how the refresh rate works, really. But I think we can just put it at 0. Windowed. We're going to have borderless windowed as well. Or windowed full screen. That's going to be enabled on the DDraw INI, which is the SFAL mod. SFAL's mouse input, sure. Make the mouse wheel control default to the PCs. Okay, blah blah blah. Effects, grayscale. Interesting. Could play the game in black and white. I haven't tried that, but that would be kind of neat. Display list descending. Yes. Oh, no. Let's see it. Movie size. Movies will stretch to fit the screen while maintaining the aspect ratio. Yep. Edge clipping. Yes. Ignore player scroll limit. Yep. That's really good. Numpath nodes. Yes. So I think this means you can, like, run faster or run further. So put that up to 10, I think. Fog of War. I don't know what this means. We'll just leave it at regular. Eye face bar. The bottom of the map view window extends to the... sits at the top. And is overlapped by the iFace bar. We're gonna go in mode 0. Well, I don't know. Yeah, we'll go on 0. Good. Original, yep. iFace bar width. That's good. Ammo. Okay, here we go. Alternate ammo meter. Makes it so your ammo bar gets like redder as you use more ammo. Pretty neat. Main menu size. Main menu stretch. Yes. Go with 1 high-res images. We can go with 0, I guess. We'll see what that looks like, I guess. Scale buttons. Maybe 0. Starting static screens. Yep. CD check. Dialog screen background. Since yeah, an upside to playing in that resolution is it looks more like the original, and the screen's more filled out when you're in dialogue, which is fun. And you'll be able to play with windowed full screen with D-Draw. Splash screen time. I'm gonna turn off the splash screen and stuff too. Fade time. Decrease, so we're gonna actually put this to 1. Yeah, just to make fades almost instant. And that's it, I suppose, for that. But now the D-Draw, which I think should be the longest out of all of the config files. Oh. Alright. We'll set this to mode 6. That's definitely the most important there. You don't need to change that. You can use the GPU, I guess. 32-bit head graphics. Okay. D show movies, fade multiplier. We're also going to set that to 1 just so it's instant, because it's kind of annoying. Action points bar. Expand barter. Yep. High-res patch mode in a new... Okay, yep. Cool. Yep. Expand world map. To skip correcting. Blah, blah, blah. I like that. Number sound buffers, blah, blah, blah. There is actually a music mod that adds higher quality music, but I found it was kind of too loud for my tastes, because for some reason it wouldn't be quieter than the minimum, you know? And that can be a little overwhelming. Even though it's really high quality compared to what you see in game. The game music isn't that low quality in the original, but scroll mod. Yes, use scroll wheel, set that to 1, it's by default. So really convenient. Reverse mouse buttons. Oof. background keyboard and mouse is off for me. Reload weapon. Oh, or use the active item. What's 19? 19 key code. JavaScript key codes. Yeah. I don't know what key code that is. What's control? Because wasn't that just on there? Whatever. I can look at that later. It would be nice to have a reload hotkey, because the way you reload is by switching to that mode on your weapon, which is a little annoying. But it's not like a huge deal. Skip the move items window when taking items from containers. Yeah, like that. Item move, misc. Yes, use Fallout 1 behavior. Time limits, that's good. Yes, world map delay. We're good. World map encounter fix. Set 1 to enable raise patch to make the world map encounter rate independent of your travel speed. Yes. I think, yeah, on Gamer Poet's video, he set this to 5. That does make encounters very common, though. It can make traveling through the world more dangerous. I think yeah, that's fun. I like having more encounters. It makes the game quite a bit harder. But more fun. But, yes, if you want a more uniform, easier to follow tutorial, always go with Gamer Poets. Good. Pip-Boy available. We gotta have set to 1, because that way we don't look like a tribal like you start in Fallout 2. Extra kill types. Damage formula. Well, we're gonna go 0. Town map. I kind of like that, actually, using 0 to escape dialogue. Yeah. You'll want to disable that if you're in Fallout 1, of course. Oh, we actually got through the playlist. Ooh. Single core. I don't know, we can run Fallout on multiple cores because we're modern epic gamer. Okay. Numbers to use a custom XP table. Hmm. Cool. Additional weapon animals. With pre-added bug fixes. Okay. So wait, what does extra kill types do? You need to provide the extra descriptions. Oh, like it changes the descriptions of the kills? Okay, yeah, we won't worry about that. Display karma changes. I actually kind of like not having karma changes, but I suppose so. Little immersion breaking, but always reload. Rather than only at map load. Sure. Play idle animation on reload, good. Corpse delay, delete time is good. Processor idle, sure. Hero appearance mod, yeah, I have that enabled. Adds extra appearance settings. Pretty cool. I don't think you actually need that for to get extra looks with your character, but skip the opening movies. Yes, we are going to disable that. You can still look at the intro in the main menu, but the splash screen is, of course, it's quite distracting. It's pretty cool, right? But NPCs try to spend extra AP. Very cool. Makes the combat a bit harder. Enemies will use drugs and stuff too, and do more things. Oh. Pip-Boy quest list. Nah. Extra save slots, yep. Speed interface, yeah, we can put that to 1. Science and repair to be used on the player. I don't know how that works. We'll leave that off. I don't know exactly how that works. Maybe we can try that. Speed and inventory, PC rotation, yep. Good, good. Remove critical time limits, yes. I like that. I get why they did that, though, because getting like a critical miss, you can pretty easily die to the rats. Fast shot behavior, this is cool. Fallout 1 original behavior. I do, let's see. And hand-to-hand attacks. Yeah, I like that. I likey. This is kind of cool if you want a little middle ground, I suppose. Fast shot in Fallout 1 is quite broken because it applies to melee weapons as well. I kind of like that, but it is very, very powerful. You could potentially attack 10 times in a turn with unarmed. Or with melee. Yeah, with unarmed, actually, right? Or like a knife, you know? Oh, shit. Fix the carry weight penalty, yes. Size limit mode. Yeah, we can leave that off. Super stim. No, we want that on, baby. Inventory AP cost 4. We can leave that by default. Good, good. Weapon ammo. I did really like that. I really liked that moment in the Fallout 2 tutorial where you had to use dynamite to explode a door. I don't know if there's anything like that in Fallout 1, but I would guess that if it's literally in the tutorial, there are probably more places like that in Fallout 2 where you have to use explosives to get through areas. Start with the maximum number. Yes, I like that. Item counter auto caps. Very good. Enable music and dialogue with the talking heads. I actually like the way it works normally, where the music stops because there's actual voice acting happening. You know, feels kind of classic Fallout-y. Hey. Zero. Red effects. Oh, gosh. Instant weapon equipping. There is a mod that makes the that shortens the interaction animation to just 1 frame, which is really useful and convenient, but it doesn't actually work with alternate appearances. Alternate character appearances. It only works for the default male and default female. That works well with that mod. Display numbers and dialogue. Yes. Fallout. Normal text font. Sure. Full item description and barter. Why not? Party member extract info. Yes. Skip loading all game settings. No, we'll leave that off. We'll skip these. Scripts debugging. Hey, looks like that's all we need. Save it. I think that's all the configuration. That took a while, but that should work then. So we got Fallout 2 all set up. That should work on full screen. Very good. Well, hold on, it's a little janky looking. We're gonna turn off windowed mode, actually. Done. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit more normal. Oh my god, the music. Perfect. I guess we can go... Ooh, that's a little loud. We're gonna change the preferences here. I like playing on the hard and rough. I don't know exactly how the difficulty works with Fallout 1 and 2. Alright, let's turn the master volume down a little bit. So, I don't know, because difficulty works differently in Fallout 2 than it does in Fallout 1. I would assume that Fallout 1 and 2 carries over the difficulty effects of Fallout 2, but also there's the Fallout 1 behavior setting. So I don't know exactly how that works, but essentially what game difficulty did in Fallout 1 was it affected your player skills. So on easy, it increased your non-combat skills by 20, I think, and then normal, they were just normal. And then on hard, they were actually reduced by 10. I actually like that setting on hard because it means you actually have to invest more into, say, science if you want to actually get those checks going. I think game difficulty in Fallout 2 affects the encounter rate and all that stuff. Combat difficulty is pretty similar, but essentially enemies are more accurate and do more damage on higher difficulties, which is quite intense, but I think that these games are relatively easy if you know what you're doing, but they can be very punishing, so just save often. Right. Always run. I like that. Item highlight is on. Combat looks. I don't know what that means. You gotta have the combat speed at the top, I think. Otherwise it's just too dang slow. But if you prefer it at lower, you can do that too. You want it to be like as slow as possible, you can go ahead and normal. I suppose we can maybe start at normal, but it's just, it's so slow. Text delay. Although, yeah, it does mean that if you're in sneak mode in combat, it's like really fast. Text delay. I don't know what exactly that means. Slow. I am going to turn the music volume down.
War never changes. War never changes. War never changes. War never changes.
True. We can increase the brightness. I do kind of like how it looks with lower brightness, because it looks like the saturation goes up or something if you turn up the brightness. Mouse sensitivity, normal. I like the lower sensitivity. That's good. Although I don't know how loud the volume is on the movies. Oh, shit. We don't want to play the copyrighted Reno. So let's actually go through character creation a little bit, and just to show you what the traits do. I did have a bunch of preset characters that I don't know if I still have anymore, unfortunately. So there are 3 sort of archetypes that you have in Fallout. There's your talker character that is good for talking through scenarios. There's your sneak character that can sneak through scenarios. And there's your combat character that can fight through scenarios. There's the 3 kind of ways of solving quests, and that is a design pillar of Fallout. According to its creator, Tim Kaine, who you should check out his YouTube channel, he has a lot of cool videos of him talking about game development and other things. We'll start with the talker. So all of the preset characters are pretty bad in Fallout, so you want to switch out their traits. Now I have the Traits Plus mod. Let's see. Looks like the descriptions aren't set. The description should be changed. Or no. Yeah, what happens is, I think you have to... Let's see. You actually have to run the game. Yeah, traits updated. Restart the game. Does that still work? We're good. Alright. Preferences. Should we increase the brightness? Yeah, don't increase it too high to where it's like too bright. Yeah, I think like middle is pretty good. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty viewable on YouTube. So I'm going to actually move my camera a little bit, because I actually am going to do a Let's Play of this, hopefully. Oh, geez. What's a good place to put the camera? I kind of like it in that corner. I suppose I could put it over here. Makes sense to have it right here because I'm actually looking that way. Maybe up in the top. Put it around here. Oh. Alright, hold on. That's good. I don't know if it's too big. My camera might be too big. Yeah, we'll lower the size a bit. Very good. Very good. No, that's kind of tiny. I like it when I'm larger, you know? I'll have to tool around with that a little bit. I think that's good. There we go. Now, it might look a little bit stretched out. It's because of the resolution that I'm playing at. Anyway, we're going to exit. It does get a little bit goofy if you Alt-Tab, but it still works. There we go. So let me show you some cool characters. And the traits should be updated now. Yeah. The amazing Traits Plus mod really revitalizes these and makes them cooler. Skilled is still a little goofy. It's really interesting, but it's still a bit of a noob trap. in some ways. What it does is it makes it so you can get higher it reduces the perk requirement, or it reduces the level requirement of perks by 4. So it does mean that you'll be able to access higher level perks way earlier, but you still have you still can only get a perk every 4 levels, which is honestly really crippling and annoying. So I wouldn't really recommend this, but it's kind of interesting and neat because it, you know, it makes it so you can, you know, play those characters earlier. So the appearance mod adds a couple of new appearances for your character. Going female. There's the, let's see. You can't play as a black woman, I guess, unfortunately. But you can play as a redhead, blonde, and green-haired punk lady. Let's see. I think their vault suits do look a bit different. I'm not sure if these were from Fallout 2. I think that being able to change your appearance was actually a thing in Fallout 2. Was it? I don't know. This is pretty cool. Playing as a redhead. Okay. Because yeah, there are redhead vault dwellers in Fallout 1. So it's like, oh, why can't you play as a redhead? You know? Yeah, I don't know who wrote this description. This is kind of weird. Okay. So yeah, keep in mind the faster interaction animations mod does not work with the different styles. But yeah, being able to customize your character, I think, is a fundamental aspect of an RPG, and that includes your character's appearance. So as many options of that as possible is really good. I mean, actually, it looks kind of weird, but we can try that out, I suppose. Let's make new characters based on the preset characters. So the preset characters are pretty bad. So we'll start with the heavy, I suppose, since he's the first one you see. Name is Max. The idea is not super intelligent, but excels in combat. We're gonna untag small guns, I think, and we're gonna add throwing. Throwing is not a very good skill, but it's neat to be able to throw grenades, and he'll be using unarmed for the start of the game. He's not going to be a primarily melee character, but he is going to use unarmed until he gets access to big guns. So we're probably going to get fast shot, because he's not smart enough or patient enough to be able to really focus on aiming. And not all these characters are going to use Gifted. Gifted is an infamously broken attribute. I would only use it if you really want all the special points, but not everyone needs this. So now that I have the feature that makes it so you need charisma to access companions, that's probably, yeah, I would use Gifted if you're going to be a companion's character. So the heavy isn't really going to use many companions. I think he can have 3 charisma, because that way he can start with 1 follower, and then, well, actually, yeah, in order to get the charisma upgrade, you need 7 intelligence. That's a little unfortunate. So yeah, the way you upgrade charisma in Fallout 1 is by encountering some dude who's like Celtic, and he does music. And basically you ask him about his music, and then you can ask him to play a folk tune. And in order to know about that, you have to have intelligence 7. I suppose you can use mentats to increase your intelligence there for that conversation. But yeah, if you want an extra point of charisma, you can get that. Otherwise, you could probably use Mentats to increase your charisma just to recruit people. But yeah, we're not going to put that many points into endurance. Endurance is a little bit of a dump stat in Fallout, unless you're doing like a challenge run, because you can just open your inventory and spam stim packs to get all your health back, you know. We're gonna go with high luck. I pretty much always go with high luck and high agility, because let's be real, these are the best attributes. I suppose, yeah, let's see. 5 perception and 5 strength is fine. Although, yeah, if you want to max out your strength, all you need is strength 6, and then you can get the strength surgery, and then power armor gives you +3 to strength. Now, you can, of course, also use buff out to increase your strength if you want to get perks. Don't increase your special just to get a perk, because I think all your special stats, most of your special stats, sorry, can be buffed using chems to get perks. So yeah, your temporary special bonuses apply to perk requirements. What else would be good for a heavy? I think Bloody Mess. Yeah, Bloody Mess. Bloody Mess or Finesse would be cool. Kamikaze maybe, but he's not like a super agile character. Man. Maybe chem resistant would be neat, where he uses a lot of chems. Chems no longer cause negative side effects or addiction, allowing for higher doses. However, their duration and potency are reduced by half. So I believe the way chems work is they'll basically last the entire duration of moving around in areas, because you don't actually spend that much time when you're actually in an area. Time goes by while you're traveling. So yeah, I don't know how this exactly works, because you can actually stack chems, right? So you can take, although they don't always stack, I think they can only be stacked a couple of times. And that's kind of neat, but it's not like super powerful or anything. I don't know how Night Person has changed. Gifted is not affected by the mod. So the reason why Gifted is super broken is because it gives +1 to all special, which is just insane. And the downsides of it reduces all skills by 10. And you get 5 less skill points per level. So that does sound bad, but special is hard to come by in Fallout 1. Most characters are going to be taking it by default. I suppose he could take Gifted, but I think because he's a heavy, probably take Bloody Mess. So he's so powerful that he just, you know, destroys everything. Although a bit of a downside of Bloody Mess with this mod is that it does add Jinxed. So that does mean that you could critically fail and your weapon could explode. So I could maybe disable that in the mod. I might do that, actually. It is really fun to do that type of character, that basically, like, and combine it with Jinxed, so you get basically double Jinxed. That is really fun. But you don't do as much damage, but you cause more critical hits. Your burst and explosive damage. Ooh. Can penetrate armor. Yep. I think he's gonna get Finesse instead. That's crazy. That's crazy. Finesse is a little annoying at the beginning because you do less damage. But yeah, this could be potentially very powerful. It does have one more point. Might as well put it into endurance. So the problem here, let's see. I wouldn't really recommend going with 3 or less intelligence unless you've already played the game, because low intelligence makes the game quite annoying because you can barely interact with most people. It's a little bit more doable in Fallout 2, I think, because there's a bit more of interactions with lower intelligence. But and it's quite fun and funny to play with low intelligence, but with 4 intelligence, yeah, you can still get the normal dialogue, but not as much. You know, intelligence affects what dialogue options you have access to. I suppose instead of throwing, you could probably go with steel. Steel is pretty useful with the steel alterations. There are some weird-ass skills in this game, man. Traps. It's like, what the fuck? So yeah, throwing is kind of a supplementary thing for throwing grenades. So yeah, I think that would be cool. Instead of, like, hitting everybody with your burst, that would be kind of neat if you could use your burst to target multiple enemies. So this is obviously not like a epically optimized character, it's just meant to be kind of fun. Throwing is a bit of a joke. If you're doing a serious throwing character where that's your main way of dealing damage, I would probably just use the save editor to give your character a bunch of rocks. Because honestly, that should have been an option in the regular game, being able to pick up a rock and throw it. That should just be an action, right? Where there are rocks everywhere, it's a fucking desert, right? It's a wasteland. Your character should just be able to pick up a rock and throw it. And I think if throwing just had that, where there was always an option to throw something and deal decent damage, I think it would just be way more usable, because that's the ultimate problem with throwing, is that there's not that much to throw. Throwing is really cool in Baldur's Gate 3 because you can throw basically anything, right? You can throw guys if you want to. You can throw enemies. You can throw your companions. And that's why throwing is so cool in Baldur's Gate 3, and there are multiple builds that revolve around throwing, and it's one of the most powerful builds in the game, depending on how you do it. But throwing is just so lame in this game. But I want to be able to easily kind of throw grenades and do that kind of thing, you know? Although, yeah, with the way it works, I think you should be able... I don't know if I saw that in the settings, but it should just be enabled by default. This allows you to not have to target enemies in throwing, so you can actually throw things at the ground. So let's play this one. Actually, let's save it. Heavy. We'll call it the Heavy. Big boy throwing character. You see Ed? Ed's dead, baby. Let's loot his shit. Every man for himself, Ed. Sorry, but we can't let you back in right now. Technical problems. Try again later. Okay, we'll go with unarmed. We'll just kick people in the face. Do not use any of your fucking throwing knives right away, because that's retarded. What's our combat speed? We're at the fastest, I think. Oops. We'll just fucking kick him in the face. We got finesse, so we're doing less damage, unfortunately. Wait a minute. Whoa. Look at all that. Look at all those action points, baby. Easy peasy. Let's turn down the sound a little bit. Master volume. Good. Master. There we go. All right. Oh man, and then the kamikaze trait is really fun to use. That's probably for the covert build. That's based on Natalia, baby. I'm not sure if I like that new action point HUD, but let's see here. Kick him, and then punch him. Classic. Ouch. You little fucking rat, bitch. Good, good. So yeah, the rats can kill you if you're not careful, so don't worry. You got stim packs and shit. We don't have targeted shots, unfortunately, and I think that's a good thing to keep in mind is if you're picking fast shot, it removes the targeted or called shots, which are one of the more fun aspects of the game, but they're not like super necessary to win, you know? In fact, fast shot is one of the most powerful traits because of the lowered action point cost. That also applies to melee now. Hello, you fucking rat. We might have to use a stim pack. That is the downside to having low endurance, is that you have lower health, obviously. Dang it. Yeah, these rats can do a lot of damage. Go ahead and use a Jimmy Do. Jimmy Do. Thank you. Alright, we just used 2 stim packs. That's not good. Don't worry. You'll be able to get lots of stim packs, but with these new encounter rates, you could potentially run into some bad encounters, so always save before leaving. Hey, fucko. There was a large amount of rat feces in this area. I don't remember that message. Okay. This guy is not going to bother to sneak around. Damn it, can you fucking hit anything? Moron. Yeah, they just do fucking 5 damage each turn because this game's retarded. I hate you. Why are you doing fucking 6 damage every hit? The rat is seriously wounded by this attack. Great. Because we're goated, we can run over and hit him. He's gonna fucking kill us, though. Yeah, we're already using 3 stim packs. That's just great. That's just fucking great, isn't it? Yeah, downside to low endurance, but luckily you get to use the special stats for other greater purposes. That's all our fucking stim packs down the drain. Don't worry, those are plentiful. Those are plentiful throughout the game, so... But, you probably want to have, like, at least one, just for an encounter that you might run into. I do kind of want to see if I can, are you... I hate you. 3. We should probably end combat here. Sneak over to him. Don't sneak over unless you're prepared to get going. Got 2. Boom. Boom. What? Good. I suppose you could maybe go for lower perception. Could maybe put a point from perception into endurance. Because yeah, I think a heavy character probably should have like better than fair endurance, right? This is kind of just meant for like optimization, but because yeah, you can also increase your perception through mentats if you want to get the better criticals perk. Good. Hey, fucko. Pay attention to the combat log. I might, I think that's a thing in showing damage numbers. I might enable that just so I don't have to read. Or maybe you need awareness for that. Oh my god. I just love them hitting fucking max damage every time because they're stupid rats. I hate you. I hate this game. Why do the rats have to... Yes, to the west you can see a natural light. Always fucking save here, okay? We're gonna quick save. Put it in the quick save slot. Should we do quick save like that, or... Yeah, save, quick save. Cool. Bazoinga. We're gonna move. We're gonna move, gamers. We're on the move. We're gonna go to Vault 15 to grab the water chip. Because that's totally where it's gonna be, am I right? Oh, fuck you. God, you... this is why you save, okay? There's nothing wrong with save scumming this retarded-ass CRPG, okay? I'm sorry. I'm already getting pissy. We're barely past Vault. We're barely... Can you die? Okay, good. We didn't get poisoned this time. We could maybe, like, kick him in the nuts. Could just fucking hit this rat scorpion, but they have a ton of... We could maybe do a hit and run sort of meme. But no, we'll avoid him. Because we only did fucking 3 damage to him. Great, there's another... Oh, hey. We got Jimmy Merchant over here. Why, hello, Wanderer. My name is Duke. And I'm headed into Shady Sands to... Yes, yes. What do you have for sale? Do you go to Shady Sands often? Yes. Okay. Barter. Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna have to change the... Ooh, he's got 2 stimmies. Give me the stim. Oh my god, the dialogue panel speed is so slow. We're gonna have to increase that. We're gonna steal from him. Fuck off. Okay. Exit. Alright, we're gonna go into Fallout. What? Okay, well, that was in the D draw, right? Panel speed. Dialogue. Zero. Controls the speed of dial. Here we go. Combat panel animation delay. So this is a bit of a cheat, right? But I like it. We gotta have that be instant. And we're gonna change that to 22. Perfect. And we're gonna check out that Fallout Mechanics MiniRework. Overhead. Regen, poison, damage. Pop-ups above the head during combat. Hmm. I do like that. Show floating message. Okay. So does that work as intended? Doesn't it just look better at this resolution? I feel like it does. You fucking red bitch. I hate you. Probably punch him twice. Oh, great. Forget that you get turns. Whatever. We'll just run. Run. Okay, so it looks like it didn't do the damage numbers there. So yeah, that mod makes it so you need a minimum steel level, which I kind of like. So what that does, I think, is it makes it so the first thing you steal is always, well, not always successful, but has a higher success chance, and then it gets worse and worse as you go along to avoid things like save scumming, which, you know, I love save scumming. I'm addicted to it. Click-a-doo. Nice. I like being able to find the caves, because those are really fun encounters. Sometimes you find a shit ton of enemies in a cave. it's amazing. Okay. We're gonna find Jimmy Merchant. No. These mantises are so annoying. I hate these mantis enemies, man. Because they have a bajillion fucking health for no reason. And they do so much damage. I hate you. I hate you. Can you help me, my guy? Or are you just gonna stand there? You're kind of resorted to hit and run in the early game. But that's how you do it. That's how it's done, baby. See, I could use a nice grenade right now. Just explode all these mantises in one turn. I hate you. How much health do you have? God damn it. Yeah, the game's combat can be a little obnoxious sometimes. Can you help me? You have a fucking gun. And every enemy has high agility, basically. I don't think there are enemies with low agility that I can remember. Maybe, like, commoners do. But most enemies that can fight have high action points, which is why you're kind of forced to use agility in this game. Oh, now you're... that's another thing I don't like, too, is enemies fleeing. But it's just something that happens, you know? You know, he's out of combat. That's what's good about fast shot, too. Yeah, you can run into rad scorpions, you can run into giant mole rats. Encounters are not forgiving early on. Which is why you should probably lower the encounter rate or keep it at default with that setting. But I kind of like running into these things early. Makes things a little challenging. Very good. Yeah, I like fast shot. What? There we go. So yeah, enemies will typically flee, especially in these encounter settings. When they're at low health. They give a lot of XP, though. Because that's why they're so strong. Hey, guy. Hello, stranger. What brings you out in the wastes? Where are you from? Sorry, friend. I get the impression that's a rather dangerous question to answer. Well, you keep your secrets, I'll keep mine. Goodbye. What? You see a weary traveler? Yeah, the random encounter system is amazing. We need a rope to probably need high perception to steel to we need high steel. Get your hands off me. All right, we're gonna lower the panel speed again, or increase the panel speed again. We're gonna probably lower it to like 15. Maybe 11. I'm gonna make another character too, but I'm just kind of messing around at this point. I'll make a dialogue character and a sneak character for you. These fucking mole rat bitches. 8 hit points. What the fuck is that piece of bullshit? This is why you save. Fuck you. You nearly fall over some rough terrain. They could use some environment management out here. Hello, stranger. Welcome to Shady Sands. Hello. Good day, I'm called Seth. How can I help you? I'd like some information. Nothing else. Yes, yes. Welcome to Shady Sands, traveler. My name is Katrina. You can talk to her and get a bunch of XP. Go grab Eon, my boy. My boy Eon. Hello. I'm Max. What do you do here? Yep. Can you help me? No thanks. Okay. Yeah, so we need caps to hire him, unfortunately. I believe you can literally steal from him without consequence because he's a companion. So, what you only could do? What? Oh, never mind. Maybe they fixed that. So we're gonna go grab a rope. No, we're not. Come on. Actually, yeah, I should. That dialogue message panel is really slow. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to the higher speed, I guess. Yeah. Oh my god, I love that speed. So that makes the combat panel instant. You can still hear the sound and it has the animation, but I really like that. Anyways, we'll go make a couple more characters and we'll be done. Let's make a sneaky character. A sneaky character. Natalia. Okay, we're going to increase her age because that's kind of fucked up that she's 17 years old. We'll have her be 22, I suppose. We're not going to be gifted. We're going to have Kamikaze, and we're going to have Bloody Mess. Either Kamikaze, maybe One-Hander would be decent. Kamikaze or Fast Shot would be fine, too. I think Kamikaze and Fast Shot would be cool. Or Finesse. Right, we're gonna increase their agility to 9. Probably don't need 8 intelligence. Charisma, lower. Yeah, now that she has 7 intelligence, you can just get the charisma boost by default. Yeah. We even out the stats here. Yeah, that's good. What was his endurance earlier? Covert. I don't know if that's the best name necessarily, but we can probably... That's fine. The sneaker. The sneaker. The covert. Yes. What was his endurance before? That's probably good. Maybe lower strength and perception and put it into endurance, just so you can have extra health per level, I suppose. Yes. Yes, the mini rework mod makes it so health increases from endurance are retroactive. So you can maybe go with 3 endurance, actually. 3 endurance and put it into, say, intelligence. Unarmed sneak and steal is pretty good, actually. Depends on what you want. Do you want to hit things with a knife? Use, maybe your super sludges? Or do you want to hit things with a power fist? I think unarmed might be a bit more fun, because, yeah, you can kick people, and that's kind of satisfying to do with a stealth build. But, yeah, if you want the called shots, you can go with Bloody Mess. Or one-hander. One-hander is pretty fun. You can increase your hit chance with, yeah, one-hander now applies to unarmed. Or now applies to the hand-to-hand attacks. Increase your hit chance. One-hander is a little boring. So you could go with finesse if you want. To get high critical rate. Finesse, the damage is a little annoying, like I said. Bloody Mess does cause an issue with missing for sure. Your weapon can explode more. Have a higher chance to explode, which would be very bad on a ranged character. Yeah, I'd probably stick with finesse. That way, you'll get really good burst damage. Can penetrate armor and knock down opponents. That is insane, dude. But you don't really get big guns until later, so this build won't come online for a while. That's the big downside to big guns and energy weapons, is that there aren't many early game options. So you could probably pick small guns instead of throwing, and then just put points into throwing later once you get grenades. That might actually be a better idea. Yeah. But as far as, like, fun goes, you can use throwing. Yeah, that might be a better idea. Overwrite that. Go to covert. I think we can stick with unarmed. You can pick either unarmed or melee. but I think it works well with both. Kamikaze is really fun to use on a melee character. Essentially reduces action point cost for your next attack per movement. So, potentially... Well, maybe you don't even need fast shot, but... Yeah, this is really cool. Or... you could pick small guns even. If you want to shoot things. Small guns. Yeah, sneak and steal and unarmed is good. I don't know. Depends. The regular Natalia build has unarmed. I like the kind of hybrid characters that can do both, honestly, even though it's not as good necessarily if you spread out your potential. Could maybe go lower endurance, higher perception. Yeah. I don't know. What's more fun? Steel makes sense for a covert build, right? But I think... I don't know. That's a tough one. Pick whatever one you want. If you're going with small guns, these are good. And fast shot really helps. I think we'll just start with unarmed. But when I think of like a... When I think of a covert, you think of probably guns. Then you can use the BB gun, and it's kind of silent. That's kind of cool. Unarmed. We'll pick unarmed. Ed's dead. Try again later. Activate sneak, of course. Run up. That, for movement, will switch to kicking. Reduces the kick cost to 1. And we can't hit him. Damn it. Okay. I do wish kicking was like... There we go. Perfect. I do wish kicking was higher range or something. That'd be kind of neat. This is really good for a stealth character, the Kamikaze. There we go. Can move up to him. 7. Perfect. Like a striker build. I believe kicking has lower accuracy. Yeah, watch out, man. Oh man, we got him. Nice, got knockbacks. Yeah, we picked finesse, right? No, kamikaze. Damn it. Yeah, these rats don't really mess around. If you want, you can increase the combats thing, because that is a little fast, right? I might increase it slightly just to be a bit more balanced. Does kicking have lower hit chance? It's supposed to have more AP and cause more damage. For some reason, our hit chance is kind of low. Maybe it's because of low perception or something. There we go. Really fun character to play. Kamikaze. And then, yeah, if you do... this is kind of a fun build with call shots. Called shots. So, yeah, instead of fast shot, you could pick either finesse or bloody mess, depending on what you want. Called shots, yeah, pick bloody mess if you're going melee. Probably finesse if you're going ranged. So then you'll get quite a bit of mileage out of Kamikaze. Yeah, it's only... it reduces by 1 for each 2 points of movement, or 2. So that is kind of... Kamikaze definitely works well with called shots because they take more AP, right? Because it's down to a minimum of... Ooh. Maybe you could change that to not to a minimum of 1 and have it cost 0 AP to attack. That's kind of cool. So yeah, failure is punished pretty bad with the stealth build. So you're not able to do as much damage. You press B to change your attack style. Why is it? Oh, yeah, it's lower chance to hit because that's what Kamikaze also does, is for every movement, or for every AP reduction, it lowers the accuracy as well. Really fun character. I really like the new Kamikaze trait. It's so cool. You always want to save. Always be quick saving. Already can encounter. Perfect. Bloody Mess rewards AP. Oh shit, I should have. Why can't I get a cave encounter, man? I like those. More rats. Great. Whoa. Holy shit. Sending head over heels. Oh, did that cripple my leg? Uh-oh. That's not good. No. We're good. Damn it. Got a thingamaboo. Thingamajoo. Thingamajoo. Thingamajig. We're gonna do a hit and run meme. Oh shit. Fuck you. Goddamn rad scorpions. Oh, geckos. Golden gecko. Oh my god. That is not good. Oh, I think these are pretty strong, right? Yeah. Yeah, you might want to disable the Fallout 2 creatures. They were getting lucky.
The darkness of the afterlife is all that awaits you now. May you find more peace in that world than you found in this one.
We'll turn off the subtitles as well. That's just for the cinematics. That was in the Fallout config, right? Critters. What? Oh, okay. So that's they're still enabled in the cave encounters. Okay, I like that actually. Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes those cave encounters can be really hard. Make sure to have your stims, baby. So yeah, that heavy character is a little hard to play because it doesn't come online until later. But I suppose, yeah, you can select small guns and be fine. Just use your pistol until you get a big old gun. Perfect. We got a... So our steal is lowered on higher difficulties early, so we probably won't be able to steal from him. Oh shit, yeah we are. Okay, we're gonna steal a stim packadoo. Come on, man. Oh, there we go. Maybe we can steal some ammo. We're good. Steal one of these. Perfect. Yep. So this character is meant to steal. So stealing is a lot better with this mod as well. Because otherwise you can just save scum it in the regular game, but this makes it a lot more fun. Alright, next is the talking character. This is probably the character that I would recommend for new players. So we're going to modify Albert, who is normally the worst one because he has low agility. We're going to make him... We're going to give him gifted and good-natured. This boosts your speech skills. If you want, you can pick a better trait like finesse, maybe. Finesse or one-hander. Small frame's pretty good. Gives you extra agility. Good-natured's cool because it boosts your talking skills but lowers your combat skills. I do wish it upgraded your other skills, other non-combat skills as well. But the second trait's kind of up to you. Can maybe go with Kamikaze. What that does, though, is it makes your armor class... you don't get your agility bonus to your armor class. Fast shot is kind of always a good choice unless you really like the called shots. But yeah, since this character is like the first playthrough, I wouldn't pick fast shot. Finesse is annoying. I don't like the lower damage. So he is going to be using charisma to get more followers. He's going to have about 7 intelligence, maybe more. Lower these. Alright. Can maybe do small frame. You're not quite as big as other people, but that never slowed you down. You can't carry as much, but you are more agile, stealthier, and harder to hit. Jeez. It's basically no downside. It's a little bit powerful. You can check out the mini rework page here. For small frame, sneak is 10% more effective. Maximum chance to hit a player. So yeah, it slightly affects that. Sure, more agile, stealthier. So yeah, if you want extra other attributes like intelligence or endurance or anything, you can grab small frame. Bruiser is also really cool in this new mod. Yeah, I'll make a melee character as well, a dedicated melee character. I think, yeah, we'll do. Nope. Oops. Yep, that's good. This character is good for dialogue. The second trait's kind of up in the air. I don't know. If you want to get the secret ending, you can pick Bloody Mess. I think I'll just pick Good-Natured, because it makes sense. But that does mean that combat will be a little bit harder at the beginning. So, we won't tag Barter, because Barter is, you know. I think there are extra dialogue options for Barter, though. Let me look that up. Oh, it looks like you can use dynamite on a couple of occasions to blow up doors. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna pick speech. And then, this is gonna be a talking character, so I suppose he could pick Barter, you know? But he does kind of want to be available in a fight. It's a little annoying that First Aid and Doctor are two different skills. Maybe Science. Weird. I don't know. Barter isn't bad. But, you know, you can basically get whatever you need with Steel. So, although, yeah, you do kind of need to have it tagged if it's going to be a part of your playstyle. Yeah, we'll roleplay this character as a very, like, good aligned character, similar to, like, you know, Lucy in the show, where it's just like, yeah, I'm a good vault dweller who's just trying to make the best out of everything, and he's, like, super naive. I think that'd be kind of fun. And he'll focus on using guns, I think. He's not super strong. He's just kind of a generalist. He functions as a diplomat and a generalist. I kind of like tagging unarmed at the beginning. Do you get anything for tagging energy weapons? I wonder. Well, diplomat. No. Yeah, you have to, unfortunately, use these other weapons that you're shitty at. Oh, cool. 7 hit points. This is definitely... on these more generalist characters, I do kind of like using the cheat save editor a little bit. I think, yeah, maybe instead you could pick melee and small guns. Oops. Yeah, if you really want to get, like, best prices... I don't know, it's pretty easy to barter in this. Because I think you're... well, I don't know. Speech and barter. Yeah. See how well this performs. It's not going to be super good in combat right away. Little rat. You probably shouldn't waste ammo on... yeah, whoops. On whatchamacallit. Rats, if you can bother. Yeah, my unarmed is actually higher than my guns. So we'll probably go ahead and do that. Wait a minute, whoops. Punch? Okay. Oh my god. If you want, you could maybe put more points into perception or some shit. So you can, hit these rats easier. If you want, you could maybe put one-hander as well. That wouldn't be a bad idea. So you don't waste a lot of ammo. These rats. Or kamikaze wouldn't be bad. A little annoying, but what are you gonna do? It's definitely a guy that's gonna get Ian immediately. Gotcha. Critically missed. What about the fucking rat feces? Maybe you only get that message if you have certain special staff. You should have enough ammo to deal with these rats normally. And I think you probably get more if you tag small guns. Luckily, there's no durability or anything. As far as I know. Fucking kidding me? There you go. And he could have killed me right there. Would have died in the tutorial. Wonder if you tag doctor or something, you get more stim packs. Alright, let's make a melee. Melee boy. Probably call him the bruiser. Or brute, maybe. I do kind of like the long hair. Can maybe play as an Indian. So yeah, you definitely want Bruiser because the idea is you hit less often, but you deal way more damage. That's the whole idea and point behind this perk, right? So it increases your strength and your potential melee damage is doubled. Quite fun, right? I think combining this with Fast Shot would definitely be a good idea, but it's pretty fun to play a melee build and like constantly hit people in the head and knock them down. Heavy-handed is a good idea. Increases your base hand-to-hand damage or base melee damage, but your criticals are lowered. The good thing about this, though, is that you have a chance to knock people down with them to compensate. Bruiser. Bloody Mess would be a good choice as well. Yeah, Bloody Mess might be the best option here. That way you can get some AP back and you can cause some jinxed effects. Either Bloody Mess or Fast Shot. But yeah, with Bloody Mess you can do called shots. So we don't actually need that high of strength. Perception actually does affect your melee hit chance, which is a little annoying, but probably go. I think yeah, it's fun to play the Bruiser with companions because you know you'll be knocking out enemies more. I suppose yeah, if you're going with like heavy-handed, where you knock people down a lot, that's pretty fun. That would go well with companions because then they could really kill enemies. You know, like you knock them down and then your companions kill them for you. I think for usefulness reasons, we'll go with Bloody Mess. Intelligence 7. Right, lower endurance. Maybe even out these things a little bit. Or Gifted could be a decent choice too. Yeah, for a heavy-handed one, you probably want Gifted. But this is like a regular melee bruiser, and it's not super companion heavy. Yeah, I think heavy-handed and Fast Shot, that would be really fun. Like a brawler that would have high charisma, and you'd be hitting really often. Well, I'd have to think about that. Bart. Should we go long-haired white dude or long-haired Indian dude? I don't know. I think we can go with Indian because it's kind of neat. I haven't made an Indian character in this. Cause yeah, I didn't play with the appearance mod before, but when I found out about it, I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. More appearance options are always good. Well, not always, because yeah, there is a non-canon option that you could check out if you want, but Bruiser. Okay. There's your stock. Oh wait, we forgot to change the skills. Well, obviously choosing melee. I'll probably go with steel. And could potentially do sneak. I think throwing would be pretty cool as well, but throwing's kind of a joke. So, Sneak and maybe lockpick. Sneak. We'll go with sneak. See, like a heavy sneak melee hitter. You don't necessarily need sneak though, because it's not supposed to be a stealthy character. It's like a heavy melee frontline hitter, but I suppose you can use sneak to initially hit enemies and avoid getting hit. But yeah, sneak is more for kamikaze. Kamikaze melee is really fun, like I showed you. So what's other builds we can make? A really fun one with this new bloody mess is the punk. So with this we'll go with melee weapons. And we're gonna pick both bloody mess and jinxed. Probably pick 7 intelligence, 7 charisma. Or, yeah, man. We might have to dump charisma. 5 charisma. We have to dump endurance as well. It's not good, but gotta do what we gotta do. Probably have low... Oh, that's really low health, though. Yeah, if you want as many companions as possible, which I think that would be at its most fun, right? You're just running with a shitload of companions, and you're like a crazy jinxed character. Style. You can go with blonde. So it's called the punk, so we probably want that appearance, but if you want something more original... Because, yeah, there is a follower that has basically that same look. That looks kind of goofy to me. Well, no, we can try that. Either blonde or redhead. Who wrote these descriptions, man? Probably go with blonde. So their name for the punk is probably Tasha. Tasha the punk. Those are good special. A little janky, but you do what you gotta do. Low endurance. We definitely, yeah, this is basically a joke build. It's really fun though. Enemies constantly critical failing is sort of amazing, so call this one punk. Either punk or you can call it jinxed. Really goofy. Oh, it doesn't look that bad in game. So we're going to be using a knife. Wait, did she use the male animations for that? Let's see. I think she's shorter. Oh my god. So good. Come after me. Everybody come after me. Oh, that's so fucking satisfying, man. Splatting rats. Rat splat simulator. Problem is, we're not having anybody miss. Damn it. They're just gonna kill us immediately because this game's stupid. I do wish you could have more than 2 traits. That'd be fun. but that's an engine limitation, unfortunately. No save editor can give you more than 2 traits. A lot of these traits are so fun to play with. I wish you could use them more, but there's a large amount of rat feces in this area. So is that like a chance-based like roll, perception roll? Because I don't always get that message. Maybe it's based on your science skill or something. Let's use a doctor. Fail to do anything. Damn it. Exploding rats, baby. Do my first aid. Hell yeah! 4 hit points. That'll do you. Oh my god. Splat rats. We critically missed my turn, and we got instantly fucking murked by that rat. Damn it. Alright. Well, that happens. Jinxed, it affects you as well, so be careful. That's why it's not really advisable to do that on a ranged character all the time, because your weapon can explode and be permanently lost, and that's really annoying on a character that's using, you know, the unique weapons in the game. So watch out. But that can happen normally, too. You can critically fail and your weapon will fucking blow up. So that's why you gotta save often, right? Whew. There are, of course, lots of different characters you can do, but those are some fun ones to start you off with. Diplomat. I should probably do like a generic vaulter kind of character. I'll call it the vaulter. Sort of generalist. I'm gonna pick probably Bloody Mess. Bloody Mess and either one-hander or Kamikaze. Kamikaze is really fun. I like this. And then, yeah, small guns, unarmed, or melee. Probably 5 charisma. 7 intelligence. Maybe lower charisma there. That's fine. Lower endurance, 14 or 5 perception. Yeah, that's probably good. I regret not has as high a charisma. But I feel like, yeah, with the increased power of companions, with these mods and settings, maybe you don't need as many followers, you know? You can just kind of run with one of them and then dog meat or whatever. Melee weapons and either speech or sneak. Probably good. Or steel. I like having steel. So I don't know what you'd call this. It's like a generalist. Could probably do fighter or vaulter. This is a more combat heavy version of Albert that's meant to kind of get the alternate ending. I'm probably going to use this character in my version. Sorry, but we can't let you back in right now. technical problems. Let's see. One there. Perfect. I love Kamikaze, man. Why do they always do 5 damage a hit, bro? I love exploding rats, man. Bloody Mess is fun. But, you know, it does kind of devalue those animations a little bit by making them so common, when it was more so rewarding to get them when you actually got them, you know? Let's use my doctor. Damn it. First aid. Very good. This is a fun build as well. Was that what I had on my covert character? Bloody Mess and Kamikaze? Let's see, 4. Might be able to get him. Damn. Head over heels. Come on, dude. There we go. Shouldn't be being this risky. Kills, very good. Yeah, I think I might use this build on my let's play. Pretty fun. Oh, whoops. So now can we actually go back? Or... You just travel straight to... Yeah, if you travel to a different location and come back, you can go back into Vault 13 and get some supplies, but it makes more sense if you come back here later, so don't really bother with that. can press N to change your firing mode. Hopefully you can shoot people in the head. Or the eyes. Probably shouldn't be doing that for mole rats, but... What? Oh my god. Sometimes you can move on accident with that mod. You don't want to. These mole rats are annoying. The fuck? Yeah. They're so goddamn annoying, man. I don't know why they even allow those encounters early. That's retarded. Just mole rat hour. Nice. Right in the eyes. Classic. Can you get XP by, like, fleeing? Or no? Yeah, I think those have got to have, like, 9 agility or something. It's a little annoying how many enemies have agility, but... Anyway. That's it. There's your builds. There's your mods. All you need is a will and a lot of saves. And then you can do whatever you want in Fallout. So yeah, stay safe out there. And I'll see you in the next video.